All right, when it comes to sprinting and acceleration, or even those first few steps, whether you're coming out of the blocks as a sprinter, 100-meter dash, or you're a wide receiver who uses a false step to get into that position, think of one of the things I see people struggle with when they have trouble getting going is their foot is coming out in front of their hips when we really want it to land back behind our hips on the first few steps, thinking that acceleration as we're pushing back, driving behind our hips, getting underneath our hips so we can drive forward rather than out here. Think of that as stopping momentum, and you're going to have to kind of readjust, recalibrate yourself to get back going. So that's going to help slow you down. So you want to push back. Think of the foot, knee coming back behind the hips. That's where you want to land out as you're accelerating. And as you get up to max velocity, as top speed, your hips or your foot is still going to land underneath your hip. It's just not going to be pushing back because you're going to be more vertical, whereas that more horizontal, and more angled base when you are sprinting in acceleration. That hip, the foot is landing behind or underneath your hip rather than out in front, acting as a brake and forcing you to again readjust and have to start accelerating again. You're going to slow yourself down. So foot should come behind so you can push back and drive forward as you gradually get more upright into that horizontal or top speed, top max velocity position. And this is why in sports like football or baseball, even basketball, you think that false step, you hear coaches talk, we don't want that false step, where wide receivers like this, and then maybe it's with that false, or they start out more far, and they put that false step back to get that momentum, to get that drive back. Or baseball, it's that person who's stealing, it's up, but it's back. Whereas if they're just going like this, their foot's already in front of their hip, so they got more effort, and it's harder. They're not at that angle to help push and get that momentum. That's why a false step is a good thing. It's a natural movement for athletes. Whereas I see coaches, especially like high school coaches, talk about, oh, let's get that out of there. Let's get that false step. It's causing issues. No, it's not. It's helping your athlete get that momentum, get that forward drive, so they can accelerate out of that wide receiver position or that stealing position when you're on base. It's boom back rather than, oh, let's just go here. But again, your foot is so far out in front of your hip that you have to drive up and then forward. So it's going to take more time, more effort, and you're going to be slower. And that in sports, that tenth of a second can mean all the difference of stealing a base or getting open as a wide receiver. So the full step is a good thing for most people. It is just a natural movement. It's their body's way of compensating and making sure they can get to where they want to be the fastest. So that's why the false step is good, especially in that acceleration. So again, in acceleration, we don't want to get out in front of here with that step. We want it back, drive back, so you can explode out. And that's why that acceleration is more that angled as you're working your way up to top velocity. Here are some examples. That one landing out a little bit too far in front, a little bit better. Again, here's another one landing out in front over the hip. Then this 3-point stance, way too far out in front, landing, and it just slows you down. A little bit better here. Better acceleration phase here. Need more arms involved in this. But the first step is driving back, which accelerates me forward, and it's something I continue to work on. It's something that I've noticed that has slowed me down, which is why we work at it, so we can get faster and accelerate and pick up that speed more. That's what we want, to be faster even as we get older. Thanks for watching, guys.